Good evening, and welcome to this channel, which is about reincarnation. And today I will talk about past lives, my own past lives, how I came to find out about them, which I did. Now, when I was in my 40s, I knew that I had lived before. I just knew it. Well, there were different reasons for this. One of them was that there were certain things that I was very, very good at. I just had this gift. French, for instance, speaking French. I just knew how to do it. And it made me think, why do I know this? You see? And then there was the flashes. I was getting flashes. It was like very sudden pictures, images, with a very strong emotion connected to it. And these flashes would come up, I could see them, and then they would be gone very quickly. And I came to this conclusion. These are memories from past lives. And then was certain countries that I didn't like. For no obvious reason. I just didn't like these countries. And it was intense. And they were Turkey and Spain. I just didn't like these countries. And there was no logic, you see. I remember there was friends of mine, they went to Turkey for holiday. And I thought, why would you go to Turkey? And then they came back and said they had a very good time, and I almost didn't believe them, you see. So there was no logic to it. I just didn't like Turkey. And the thought struck me, of course, maybe I have lived there. Maybe something happened, you see. So it was Turkey and Spain. And then there were certain countries that I really liked. And it was England and Italy. I really liked them. You see, there's a lot of good countries around, But it was very strong with me. And then it was France. And that's where I started. You see, because France had mixed feelings about France. Very strong admiration for the French, and the culture. And then there were certain things that I didn't like, that disturbed me, you see. And I understood, I had lived there. And I had French flashes, yes. You see, I started painting. And as I started, I realized, I have done this before. It was just so familiar to me. Holding the brush, standing in front of a canvas, I just knew it. I have done this before. And I was getting flashes. When I was painting. And they were very pleasant. It was like female models, beautiful landscape, nice weather, very nice pictures, you see. So I realized this, I thought, I think I've been a painter in France, So I started to do this research, and it's basically asking yourself questions and not giving up until you have the answer. I also understood why it's so hard. It is very hard to remember your past lives. Well, for most people, I would say it is. And it's because of what's in them, If you just imagine you lived 100 lives, 1,000 lives maybe, then what happened? Well, there was a lot of very strong emotions, right? There was guilt, for instance, sadness, sickness, betrayal, you know, and pain, of course, yeah, mixed with the good memories. So it's hard to remember them because these emotions connected to them sort of push you away from it, see. That's why it's so hard to remember your past lives. Yeah, it's the emotions. Now, some people say, well, if you believe in reincarnation, this is just wishful thinking. Yeah, it sounds good, right? It sounds beautiful. You just live on, right? And they say this, they ridicule this thing. But I think it's the opposite, you see. The people who believe in one life, this is wishful thinking. Yeah. Because they don't want to know. You see, it's too emotional, it's too strong. So let's just forget the whole thing and live one life. Yeah. And you have no responsibility for your next life and so on. Yeah. I think this suits them. That's why, I think. Okay, so I was looking at France first. So I suspected that I was a painter. Yeah. And I started to look for the pictures. I'd seen these pictures, right? And I started to look at artists, French artists. Yeah. I went through them like crazy, looking at their work, you know. Yeah. Very intense research. And then there was this guy, and his paintings really talked to me. Yeah. And as I was looking at them, I thought, you know, this could have been done differently, or this was brilliant, or, you know, I had thoughts about the paintings. And I understood, you know, this is the guy, this is who I was, yeah. A French painter, yeah, in the 1800s, living in Paris, yeah. And I felt very, very calm when I realized about this guy. And I started to read everything about him, everything. And a funny thing happened when I was reading. You know, these were, of course, books written by somebody else, not by himself. And then there were certain things in the books, and I said, no, this is not correct. No, this is not right. Yeah. And then I went to Paris. And to make a very, very long story short, I was spending 3 days in Paris all by myself, and I ended up very late. I ended up in front of a house, and I didn't know this was the address of this guy. I didn't know it at the time, but I was sort of forced to walk that road and ending up in front of this house. And it was very late. There were some tourists around. It was dark, very dark. There were no lights at this street. And I came to this house, I looked at it, and then the memories started to come back to me. And it was very, very strong, emotional. I was crying like crazy, yeah. I felt very stupid. I couldn't stop it, see. So there I was. I had to walk away because the emotion was just too strong. Yeah. And then I came back a bit later. And I understood something about these memories. You know, the emotion is sort of kicking you out from them. The emotion is so strong. So the first thing you experience is the emotion. And it sort of pushes you away. But if you let it run through you, if you just let it have its course, then when it's done, you write it out, then you will start to see the memories. Yeah, which I did. And there I was. And I knew I was this guy. Yeah, and that was the start of it. Yeah. I will tell you more later. Be good.